doesn't move as gracefully as a Swan, but Dane Swan knows how to get the footy better than just about everyone in the AFL. The statisticians, like the tattooists, are running out of ink. Swan has racked up over 30 possessions in 16 of the Pies' 20 games this year, including the last 12 in a row. His game average, over 32 disposals, is bettered only by Gary Ablett, although some consider his kicks don't hurt enough.
I suppose Dane's kicking is not as good as the others.
Still, Swan keeps forcing the ball forward. And today the red and white Swans will try to tag their black and white namesake. Graceful or not, Dane Swan likes keeping his opponents and the statisticians busy.
Yes, Dane Swan has been in great form, but so have the Swans. Over the last 4 weeks, they've played some terrific footy, including here at the MCG. Paul joins us. Roosy, our whole opener was about Dane Swan. I bet you're giving him some thoughts this week too.
Yeah, look, they're better players. They've got hold of us a few times. I mean, Swan, Didak, Leon Davis, probably Didak and Davis were really good in their last game. So we need to put some time in them. But for us, it's trying to get our game style going, and obviously young players more game time.
Just on them for one more moment, their rotations, does that make it harder to sit on them?
A little bit, but you're aware of what's going to happen. I mean, you know that they're going to have a player come off early. You know that one of their guys, better players, is going to start on the bench, which is Pendlebury this week. So you can sort of predict it. But what you got to be careful, you don't get caught up in just a ring-a-rosy and worry too much about them.
I spoke to you a fortnight ago here. Lot's happened at your club. There's a lot of emotion, Crouch and also Barry, your own situation. I mean, the club seems to be thriving on that.
Yeah, it's good. I said to the boys today, it's last game for Leo and Crouchy and Mick at the MCG. So, it's a pretty memorable ground, as we all know. So hopefully we can do well for them.
Roosy, it's a long shot, but you've still got a shot,
Yeah, we've got a chance, but the main thing for us is to keep playing well and playing these young guys and give them some experience. And what better experience, Collingwood, the MCG, in front of 50, 55,000.
You've said it all. Good luck.
Thanks.
What better indeed. Out come the Magpies in top form, certainly. They've won their last 4 games today, looking to consolidate third place in the finals meeting with the Cats. Of course, if they lose, it sets up a showdown with the Western Bulldogs come next Sunday. It's amazing, Tim, how desirable third place has become.
That's right, and they are one of the form sides of the competition, Collingwood. In fact, probably right now at this minute, they may be playing the best footy out of all the sides in the competition.
The Magpies one change. Their number 1 ruckman is back, Josh Fraser.
Yeah, great to see him. They'll ease him back into the game this afternoon. He's been out for 5 weeks, so he'll share the ruck duties with Wood, who's been very good in recent times.
Tim, when it comes to run and discipline, Collingwood's midfield certainly takes some beating.
They do, and I reckon it's one of the fascinations of this game. Roosy spoke a moment ago about Didak and about Leon Davis, these players that have got hold of them. Now, last weekend, they had 131 rotations. That is a lot of going on and off the ground. Now, if Sydney want to keep that accountability, which they like to do, it may disrupt them. That's why I believe that Collingwood have probably beaten them in the last 7 encounters between these two sides. They've got some wonderful talent. None better than this bloke on screen now, Dane Swan. He's got that great ability to play as an inside midfielder, but he's got great pace and great power as well on the outside.
Man we were talking about, Scott Pendlebury, averaging 27 possessions a game this season. And what about the big guy, Josh Fraser? Hasn't played since round 15 against the Western Bulldogs. Wood will play today. That'll be interesting to see how they work in tandem. And there's Dale Thomas, a 22-year-old, certainly with all the weapons. Sometimes he promises more than he delivers, but he's a great talent. We'll talk to him at halftime today. So Sunday football, it's Collingwood and Sydney.
Tails is the call. Away you go. It's the tails. Goodbye. Thanks, John.
So Adam Gooch wins the toss for the Swans, doing the tossing today against Nick Maxwell. Terrific day, big crowd, biggest crowd Sydney's played before this year's 44,000. Ricky, they're going to go past that today, I reckon.
Well, the MCG has a real finals flavour to it, Macca. The sun's out, bit of a swirling wind which make conditions tough for the players, but there is a good crowd in, and I'm sure both clubs want to do well, in particular Sydney, to keep their finals chances alive. Now, there's one player in the Sydney's lineup, a young player called Nick Smith, who'll be an unlikely key factor in this game. He will get first crack at Alan Didak, who's been in awesome form and a real match winner for the Pies. So if he can curb his influence, really help the Swans win that game today. Another super matchup to look out for is Reece Shaw on Dane Swan. That will be an absolute cracker. Now, talking to Paul Roos before the game, he said the one thing that's predictable about Collingwood, and it's something he can plan for, is a high number of interchanges. So that will be something I'll look out for today. Have a good call, boys.
Terrific, Ricky. Thank you for that. Yep, there's still a chance. I mean, if they could win today, look at that live ladder. That percentage may help them big time. It's 95. It's better than Hawthorn's. Port seemingly out of it now.
Well, the big spoilers to all that can be Essendon if they were to get over Fremantle today over in the West.
And the good thing for Sydney is that that game hasn't been played yet.
I've been looking forward to this game all week. I've been watching Sydney really closely over the last month or so, and their form is just outstanding. And Collingwood, as we know, they're a big scoring side, but they're also been a really good defensive unit too in that same period of time. And that bloke has been in career best form.
Hasn't he? Leon Davis, quite outstanding. Last few weeks has been starting on the bench. He was listed on the bench in the papers this week, but he's starting on the ground. How about that? Couple of good mates. That's as informal as you see it. He even took his mouth guard out.
There's Leo Barry's gone to Medhurst. Medhurst gone to the goal square.
Umpires this afternoon, Stevick, Grun and Keating.
Bolton on Fraser too, so that's a mismatch in height.
So the opening bounce and away we go. Well, it was umpire McLaren who bounced it down. Son of a gun. It's socked forward down towards half forward. Thomas lays a hand pass off. Ball missed there by Dick. Bolton goes after it, slips a hand pass away. Roberts Thompson. Good run coming out of defence. Kicked by Bevan. Down towards half forward. Dropping back Maxwell. Just leaving the ball behind was White. Paddling it towards the line was Maxwell. Taken by White. Feeds it inboard. Reece Shaw, sharp angle, misses.
One of the real unusual matchups in the early part of this game. Kirk has gone to Heath Shaw, so Kirk is actually playing as a half forward. He'll play a defensive role on Shaw and just try and slow his run.
So Wood, last time Wood and Fraser played in the same game was against the Swans at the Olympic Stadium in round 12.
Kieran Jack has gone to Leon Davis. And Reece Shaw has actually gone to Dane Swan.
So Jolly is #1 when it comes to hit-outs and effective hit-outs in the competition. Well done, Didak, belting it forward.
The man, Dale Thomas.
So against Matner, just another interesting matchup, Matner and Thomas. Now Thomas going long and wide, well, to centre forward in the end, Anthony, and now Davis doesn't get a lot on it. Ball usually talks for him, though, and they're going to get a goal. Anthony with the back of the foot after a slip in the goal square.
Well, the ball was talking for somebody. It wasn't talking for the Sydney Swans. They were thinking that they were reading English, but it was speaking Chinese on that occasion. Just watch this ball. The Sydney Swans, there's a free kick to Daisy Thomas. Just watch this odd-shaped ball just take a Collingwood turn here, and Jack Anthony in the right position. Leo Barry, he would have thought going to that ball that he was going to swallow it up.
Well, Brett Kirk, who started up forward, which was a bit of a surprise there, is there having a rest. He started up forward as an accountable forward on Heath Shaw. They've made a change and now brought that young boy who's originally from Melbourne, Hanbury, to play as that accountable forward player.
Wood goes up, taps it down. Davis is over the football. It's in there somewhere. Stolen away by Jolly. Palms off a would-be tackler. Crouches over the football now. Taken down by Davis. Wood stood up. Wellingham trying to help, comes out with the footy. This is Sydney football.
Hold of his hand before he grabbed it. Free kick.
No, can't do that. Smith gets the free. Inside the centre square. White is on the move. Kick goes in that direction. White is up, had it fisted away by Brown. Slapped forward there by Jack. Knocked out of there by Prestigiacomo. It's pinballing around. Brown left it behind. Dick was in there. White couldn't pick it up. Still White. Smith stood his ground, wishes he hadn't. Brown was coming in the opposite direction. Wellingham loops it out. Didak on the burst. Now Josh Fraser. Big roar goes around the MCG. Fraser towards half forward, short of Swan. He's in trouble, Swan. No more smiling. Mouthguard stayed in. Shaw took him down. Leading back in the race, Smith. He can use the ball very well, Smith. Bolton almost stationary. And across the ground, it comes to Roberts Thompson. Dwyer was the man who kicked it. Roberts-Thompson kicks down towards half forward. White juggles the mark.
Great play from White, that long lead out of the goal square. Then there was nothing else on.
It's been sharp early. Here's O'Dwyer again. It's made an impression. Goes back inboard to Barry. Loads it up. Leo doesn't really get it, and Shaw's going to mark it. So Heath Shaw away. His last month has been brilliant. Going to see a lot of running bounces from the Shaws, I reckon, today. Half a dozen already here to Heath. Gets it back from Dick. Poor kick.
They're going to use the ball better than that, Collingwood, because the Sydney Swans defenders actually aren't going all the way with their direct opponents. So as soon as they push up the ground, the Collingwood forwards, they're staying back. So they're going to have to be more careful with their ball use.
Leo Barry kicks inside the forward 50. Thumped down by Brown. Moore's got it. Slips a hand pass away. Hanbury. Oh, an educated kick. Clever across to Barlow, who lines up and misses. Well, Hanbury, instead of using his hands, just pulled the kick. It was like a hand pass and set his man up, but Barlow sliding it across the face. Checking those umpires too. Don't know where we got the other trio from. McBurney, Rosebery and McLaren.
So Medhurst. It's got plenty of time. Swan and Shaw.
Play by Shaw.
And well done again by Reece Shaw.
That's great play then by Reece Shaw. He's got terrific hands, Dane Swans. We see a multiple interchange. There's about 4 players on and off as they went near the interchange gates there. So some fresh bullets for the Pies to fire now, and the Sydney Swans. Reece
Shaw played 94 games with Collingwood over a fresh stretch of 9 seasons. In and out of favour through that period, but probably in his last year there was as good as any other.
The #1 player in the competition, Reece Shaw, for running and bouncing the ball, and their best defensive rebounder too.
And his brothers had half a dozen bounces in one go so far today at the other end.
So Kirk now has found himself in the midfield, so he's actually going to try and go with Pendlebury. Pendlebury started on the interchange bench, so his job will be to reduce the effectiveness of Pendlebury around the stoppages.
So Jolly, free kick.
He's back, Jolly.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the Wood-Fraser one plays out over the next fortnight. They've played with one ruckman mainly this year. It's a poor kick by Jolly.
Jackie, push out, Adam.
That's good play there by Collingwood, just to fill that space in front of Adam Goods, because he'll beat Prestigiacomo for speed.
Tuvey, obliging bounce, lays it off. Little 1-2 with Beams, and again Tuvey putting the ball in front of him. It won't sit. Almost in the back. Not paid. Matner, bit lucky. Holding the ball, it goes the other way.
So he comes up high for a centre-half forward, Adam Goods, then too. He's almost in the back half then. I don't know whether or not Prestigiacomo's got a massive tank, but he'll be tested this afternoon playing on Goods.
Just watching the replay, Matner very cleverly went to his knees, but not into the back. Terrific decision. Roberts-Thompson bounces the ball back to Matner. Short one. Barlow.
Keep coming, Scotty.
Right on the wing. Where's the movement? Moore starts a run. Not sure he's the man to attract the football. Goes outside the 50. They've cleared it up inside the forward 50. He goes short to Goods, who's been in stellar form. Beats the man Johnson. Runs to 55. Doesn't get it cleanly. It bounces through for a behind.
So plenty of Sydney attacking, but they've missed 3 gettables. Thomas uses his skipper. It was paid the ultimate compliment, I think, today in the paper from Harry O'Brien. Kick to centre wing. O'Dwyer did pretty well. Collingwood through Swan. Well done. It was Tuvey, actually. Well done. No free kick there. Dick it was. How do you reckon it's settled, Tim? We've been going for about 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I think the Sydney Swans have got a pretty good handle on things in the early stages of this game.
Pike doing the ruck work. Kirk's little give. And Grundy held up.
I think it's already evident, though, if Collingwood can actually get out into some space, they can do some damage. So it's going to be critical that the Sydney Swans lock them down.
Pike and Wood. Jack knocks it forward. Smith a half chance. Kirk goes to the ground. Jack's over the football. Watching a Sydney game, Tim, is very different to watching most games.
I actually really enjoy watching the Sydney games, Dan. I know a lot of people criticise the way they play, but I love the fact that they turn a game into a contest. A man-to-man contest too.
Smith, a little layoff hand pass, gave it across to O'Keefe, who bounces it down towards half forward. Goods takes them all on and wins. He's been doing that a lot lately. Shaw, Kirk, Dwyer. Goods again on the burst, lacking support. He looked around for it. It wasn't there. Released the footy. Free kick to Kirk. He went lower.
I don't think Prestige Como will be able to go with Adam Goods. He just plays a completely different brand of centre-half forward. He's just not accustomed to playing somebody who's going to push up as hard as he does to greet the ball.
So Kirk now, Lachlan's the primary target.
No, first grab was to Nick Maxwell. Play on.
And so Ben Johnson now gets it from his captain. Running it hard and kicking it wide. And Shaw's going to have a paddock here if it sits. He'll go. Hannibal to chase. That's his 9th running bounce so far today. Make it 10, 11. And then charges to half forward. Anthony's in a good spot. Well done, Roberts-Thompson.
That's already going to be a worry for Paul who's up in the coaching box. The run and bounce of Heath Shaw. If they can open up one side of the ground, then he's just going to take off. And very quickly they've gone from defence into attack.
Tillier's working double time at the moment as the Sydney runner is out there again. He's hardly been off the ground trying to sort out what's going on. Picking up certain players, certain assignments for players. Johnson just jams it back towards half forward. Clever by Anthony. Do that again. Davis has got the football, goes to the pocket. Medhurst is snuck in behind. Decides to play on. Goals beckon. And he's missed everything, I think, or has he? He's just got it behind. It was a late decision. He wasn't going to go and then thought, blow it. Blew it.
He just needs to be retuned, I reckon, Medhurst at the moment. He's not playing badly, but he's kicked 3 goals in his last 5 games coming in. That's an interesting kick. It will work, though. Bolton was good enough. Yep. It's a throw. No.
No advantage out to the wing.
Oh, gee, it looked like an advantage to me.
Gee, Mickey O'Loughlin's got it half forward.
I thought that was an advantage.
Go round, Drew, when you get it.
So against Cloak. Yeah, Paul Medhurst not playing badly, but not kicking the goals that normally he would. Now Jack's run hard here.
Good kick.
So the fat side opened right up. White, who's been busy early like Goods. He turns Brown around. Now he has to wait. Back to Jack, a left footer. Comes back to Shaw. Now Shaw comes back inside. Now trouble. Barry. Good tackle. That's been an awful start for Leo. Everything possible's going wrong for him.
Anthony, a clever kick too into the path of Lockyer. Dropping back his Cloak. You'd put it in above the head of Grundy. Well, he doesn't. He goes to the pocket. And Shane O'Bree's taken the mark. What a fine season O'Bree is having. What a fine player he's been for the journey.
Gee, they ran hard into space then, didn't they, Collingwood, when they sensed the turnover here. He's Leo Barry trying to get around Jack Anthony. A good play there by Jack Anthony just to lock the arms down. But as soon as Lockyer saw that, he was away into space.
Shane O'Brien, not a goal-kicking midfielder, runs around and goes with the left foot. And his tally of goals for the season stays at 4.
At the other end of the ground, though, I reckon the Sydney Swans look really good with White. Looks like he's going to be able to get off Brown, and Goods is already getting off Prestige Como. So if they can get enough midfield supply, and that's a big if against one of the more talented midfields in the competition, I mean, they're going to be really into this game.
So Mattner going long. O'Keefe was the target. He couldn't take it. It's a terrific effort by Medhurst. And now Pendlebury puts it up high. Swans have got the numbers here, and they should mark, and they do. Grundy getting back. It's been good, Grundy.
Yeah, no, they've really loved the way that he's been playing in the back line.
He's played 28 consecutive matches, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but he's really established himself now. O'Loughlin.
Look at this.
Yeah, Goods on the burst. He's got him. So
Simon right on it.
Jolly's gone down to full forward for the moment. And now Goods looking for O'Keefe, I think. Maxwell marks it. Adam Goods' disposal. I know we had a conversation about this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The one slight weakness in his game, I reckon, he does not kick the ball all that well at times.
That's a good kick to the outer side. O'Loughlin spilt the mark. Pendlebury over the football. Tuvia half chance. Stolen away by Barlow.
It's been busy.
Dwyer, Barlow. Now Mattner who can kick it a long way. This one no exception towards full forward. White trying to knock the ball to the goal square. Shaw on his knees. Tuvey, or was it Beams? It was Beams who gave it across to Thomas. Wellingham, now Fraser, left half back, kicks beyond the wing. Lock is outnumbered. Getting back is Matner. Plenty of support to choose from. Grundy overlapping with Bolton, who sold himself into trouble, coughs it up. Pendlebury stood up in a tackle. O'Brien hit the ball hard, kicks inside the forward 50. Grundy goes back, tipped away by Beams. He's got no support, Beams. Swan arrives belatedly, and the umpire is going to ball it up, and that's a good result for Beams and Collingwood.
It's good effort by Beams, isn't it?
He's been an impressive young kid in his first year of AFL football.
Almost feel like he's been battling with side bottom for that one spot, Tim, a lot of the year, and they've both done well. Here's Smith, Goods again.
Come back, please.
He's a long way up the ground. I mean, Pressure Giacomo's not going to go all that distance with him, so on that occasion Nick Maxwell came up with him, but he's just that conduit for them all the time, Sydney.
Swans making a few bad decisions early in this game, certainly getting enough of the ball. Speaking of bad decisions and bad kicking, well, Tuvey's dropped a sitter. Jolly couldn't quite get down. Bolton works hard. Pendlebury, I thought he should have got a free. Wood did well. Thomas, he was almost going to go. He saw Bolton, and now he's got Dick running hard. Matten will want this to go out, I can tell you. He'll want this to go out. It hasn't yet. He's still going. Dick's with him. Well done, Matner. That's like beating Usain Bolt over 100, I reckon. Thomas getting it back, and then Daisy goes with a beauty.
That is a great kick. That was a great one-on-one contest, though, between Dick and also Matner. You're quite right. Matner was playing for the boundary line. It chased him about 50 metres, 60 metres already. And then just that release there to Thomas, who had the vision to spot Medhurst out of the corner of his eye in space on the other side of the ground.
Well, Medhurst looking lively early. 11 goals, 10 from set shots. I guess that first one today, you'd put it down to on the run. That's perfect. And Collingwood are getting the goals.
And their speed, when they get on the outside, is really going to trouble Sydney this afternoon. Sydney have to do better when they go forward with their opportunities. On too many occasions in the early part of this game, they've really butchered the ball when they've gone forward. They've got to find that target. They can't just kick the ball long and hope that one of their key forwards is going to be able to mark the ball, because Collingwood are outnumbering them in that department. And then once they gain control of the ball, they've been very good on the rebound.
The Swans forwards have an obvious strategy on playing the Collingwood defenders. Whoever goes, well, whoever Maxwell picks up, tries to drag him deep into defence and getting closer to the goal square, just to stop him from drifting across as a third man in. And whoever Presty goes to, they try and take him up the field.
It's not working at the moment, Rick. Socket off the ground there by Davis. Comes out wide. Davis tracks his own ball. Kicks inside the forward 50. Dick's in front. Hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Stayed on his feet. Matner goes to ground underneath him. And the ball just trickles across the boundary line. It was interesting to watch Matner after that chase around the outer side, which was enthralling. I reckon he spent the next 20 seconds with his hands on his knees. And Dick just moved on. Boundary throw in. Wood slaps it back towards the boundary. Didak slips away. Davis looks inside. Davis, a centering kick, a beauty. What a beauty. It was a tracer off the boot, demanding something of Anthony. It went to space. And you thought for a moment, no one is going to get this. And then out of the corner of your eye, you saw Anthony coming up. Just wonderful vision by Davis. Look at that. How did he see him? He's got a rear vision mirror out there, Tim.
Paul Roos spoke about that, didn't they, before the game, about the fact that Leon Davis and Didak had got off the chain the last couple of times they've played against Sydney, and again it was those two players that featured strongly. Didak, handball to Davis, beautiful delivery.
So Jack Anthony directly in front. Hits the post.
His kicking's gone off, Dennis.
Yes, he was a dead-eye Dick.
He was just about the surest thing in AFL football a month ago.
Short career to date. He's only not kicked a goal in one of his 32 matches to date. He's already got one today. But that accuracy hasn't been quite so impressive over the last few games. Roberts-Thompson up the ground. So Sydney have done all right. They've got it to the centre wing in a quick transition, but that's an awful kick. Symptomatic of what they're doing in this opening term.
That's been a feature of their play in the early part. See Paul Roos on the boundary line then. That's one of the things he'll be lamenting about his charges in this first quarter, and looking to address that at quarter time when he gets a bit of time to sit down and have a chat to the boys. They're just butchering the ball.
So Swans little one to Fraser. Such a creative team, Collingwood. Fraser's kick. Thomas just gave a little shove on Bolton, and then Kirk got down low. Pendlebury did well there to get a lot on that. Gets it deep inside. Gets it to a dangerous spot. Hanbury, good thing there he didn't fall over. Heath Shaw's drifted forward.
Well, he's going to test the kid out. He's going to say, OK, if you're going to play on me, I'm going to take you to the parts of the ground where you might not feel so comfortable.
So boundary throw in running down to quarter time. Wood, full rotation. O'Keefe. Perhaps his finest season. Perhaps not his finest kick. To the opposite side of the ground. Medhurst again looks back to the middle. O'Brien this time. Well, they're lining up in the corridor.
Reece Shaw had to go for that ball. He actually tried to hold Dane Swan out of the contest, but he just had to commit to that one in the air. That's a tough one to go for, but it was in his territory. He had to go for it.
A lot of tweeting. It's coming back to O'Brien.
Back to the man kicking. Yeah, kick it back to him, thanks.
Here's the turnover, and the ball goes to Medhurst. If you see at the top of the 50 there, there's Reece Shaw just staying there with Dane Swan. Now there's a bit of difference there in space, but he should have left his man.
O'Brien just made a terrible decision. Tried to kick it about 11 metres. O'Brien on the outer side after they made a mess of it at half forward. Trying to get through is Hanbury. Held up by O'Brien. Keen to make amends. He's annoyed with himself. The umpire actually hadn't blown time back on. Otherwise, Maxwell could have taken his kick. Sounds like the umpire's annoyed with himself too. Turvey smothered off the boot. Jude Bolton.
Did so well, Bolton. Such a combative footballer. Gets it over Lee Brown. And rolling on for a behind.
They weren't really set then, Sydney, either. All the forwards had actually pushed back into their 50 from that stoppage. They were just trying to open up some space between the stoppage and their forward line.
So Harry O'Brien charges off. Good kick down the line. Well done by Johnson. Arches his back and then kicks the ball towards centre half forward.
Oh, Brad Dick's arm! Off the ball! Give it to him on the full, Brad Dick. Thank you.
That's an issue of pace.
So Dick's free kick, and then Dick just leans back and drops it in the goal square for Cloak. Good mark though by Grundy.
Pace and fear, Tim, they often go together.
Crouch just really worried about the speed of Dick.
So Leo Barry, he'd love a nice clean possession, Leo. That's better. O'Dwyer, just his 5th match today, the 21-year-old.
Play on, play on.
He's one of the injections that Paul Roos has produced in the last month into the team. Goods at the back, never got a crack at it.
Nick Maxwell, man in front. Jared, stay out, Jared.
You can see the Sydney runner. That's not him in the foreground. I don't think he's headed around the boundary. Overworked in this term, reaching over the top. Barry will have the ball up.
Both had it, Leo.
I won't use the T word, but yesterday,
Leo.
Tim, I pride myself on my lip reading, as you know, and I saw something I've never seen before. Neville Jetta was looking dangerous in the second quarter for Melbourne, and the Melbourne runner went out. And I'm sure he told a Carlton defender to play tighter on Jetta. Scramble down towards the pocket. Beams had it. It's not coming. All it did come out. Thomas can't keep it in. It's amazing how those Melbourne games are scrutinised. And again, yesterday, I'm sure people were scrutinising it with an intense scrut. Not a lot of interchange from Melbourne yesterday. Had their moments. Pike cleverly. Jude Bolton drives it up towards the wing. Stretching O'Loughlin. It runs away from him and goes out of bounds.
Perhaps they should have taken Jetta off then to get those interchanges going if he was going so well.
Next best thing. Get out to Carlton.
I'd love to get your take on the Kennedy assassination after that bit.
He's got no chance.
Funny you should say that.
So 2, 3 to 4 points.
Nick Maxwell's been freed up across halfback too, so they're going to have to be careful if they do go forward here, Sydney.
Pike and Wood. Now Pike grabbed hold of it, and
Don't see anything there. I'll have to have it.
you heard the explanation. Just need a goal, the Swans. They haven't played well.
No.
They've executed badly.
They've been poor with the ball. Yeah, when they've had the ball in their control, they've been poor at executing.
Yet their kicking in the last month's been pretty impressive, hasn't it? So Bevan out of the back half, blazes away, and this is a Collingwood. They do so well to get that extra man, O'Brien, over the back of Maxwell.
That's right. Well, so Maxwell has actually pushed back down there. He's become the free player. So if you do get that kick, you've really got to be careful where it goes, because if it just goes in the air like that, he could influence the contest too much, Nick Maxwell.
And after this morning, there's no way that Harry O'Brien's going to let Maxwell down, is he? The best captain he's ever played under.
Yeah.
Woods kick into the centre. Daisy and Didak. Well done, Daisy.
Johnson inside the forward 50. Could bounce out again. Thomas has got it. Gee, that's hard running by Thomas. Went ahead after being involved back in midfield. Roberts-Thompson falling to the ground. Well worked. Barry got it from O'Keefe. Comes back to Bolton. Some familiar names there as he comes out wide. Missed by Pike. Applies a strong tackle. Davis tries to get through. Shrugs off the tackle. Comes to Wood. Back to Davis. Nothing much in the middle this time. A lot of Swans. Wellingham. Well, he flew highest. But the judgment shown by Barry. Lays it off, and O'Dwyer. We like him.
He's going to come up back up the mid. If he turn inside, that's his kick. Good, well done.
Finds Smith. Can they get that late goal? There's O'Dwyer. Well done, but they're again outnumbered. That third man up. It's Maxwell again. O'Loughlin couldn't quite get a handle on it. O'Brien. Mickey gets involved. Johnson gets a lot on it. Medhurst on his own. Collingwood can attack here and maybe kick a third goal for the quarter. Cloak. Good job by Grundy, who's had a terrific opening turn. Thomason, Smith, Didak's lurking. Barry, who's settled pretty well after a nervous start.
Maxwell's been influential, hasn't he, across half back?
Moore drives beyond the wing. Hanbury. A little slow to go there. Tuvey got a chance on the ball. Shaw. It was intended for Tuvey, chopped off by Hanbury, so he did okay. The kick goes down towards the pocket from O'Dwyer, reaching over the top. Barlow is going to get a free kick. Shaw coming back on him, or was it Johnson? Johnson's the penalised player. Barlow loads up from 60, and that's out of bounds on the full. The idea was right. I think he looked up and spotted Goods in the square, but in his haste, he miscued with a kick. It's quarter time. Collingwood 2-3-15. Sydney 4 behinds on Sunday football.
So quarter time here. The succession plan is in place for John Longmire. He takes over from Paul Roos in 2011. Who better to hear about that than his former coach, Dennis Payton.
The lead is on by Longmire. It bounces for him. He's getting around short wide. Good play, Johnny Longmire. Onto the left foot. Oh, that is great play by the full forward.
I've got a great belief in John. I think he's got some wonderful qualities. He's a man of principle. Got some strong values. He's got a great understanding of the game. Got good people management skills.
Gather is by Longmire, and he gets around onto the right foot. Can he do something? Oh, look at this! How's your lollies with this one?
He's a consummate team man. He cared about everybody else in the team. Had an ability to draw blokes together. He's handled a lot of disappointments in his career and come through with flying colours. And assistant coaching, I won't say it's the easiest job in the world, but it certainly doesn't compare with being a senior coach. Well, I think it's such a tough business. I don't think anybody realises how tough it is. I think he'll do well. Players make coaches. Great coaches make good teams. I hope John Longmire becomes a great coach.
Dennis Payton, the former coach of the North Melbourne Football Club, and Carlton just talking about one of his former players, John Longmire there, who we now know will take over as a Sydney Swans coach at the end of next season. And he's quite right. You don't know exactly what you're going to get until somebody is actually calling the changes and somebody's actually directing, but he has had a very good long period of time now as the understudy to Paul Roos. So, and they must be completely satisfied that they've got the right man, the Sydney Swans.
Fascinating stuff. Ricky, what about that opening term, mate?
Well, there's one thing we know about both these clubs is that they rotate a lot off the bench. Collingwood had 32 in that quarter, Swans had 31. So they're on track for about 120 throughout the game. One noticeable thing about Collingwood, though, they always have one of their star on-ballers on the bench at any one time. They rotate Pendlebury, Davis, Didac, Swan, all through that interchange bench. They had Pendlebury start there before the game. Thomas has now gone there for this second quarter. So it's one area that it is predictable about Collingwood. They do have a star on ball there at all times. Also, there's been a win for Sydney, though. There are two matchups I talked about before the game. Shaw on Swan and Smith on Didac. They only kept them to a couple of possessions each.
Interesting. Matt O'Dwyer, 8 possessions in the game. Leads all comers. There's Rodney Eade. Must be feeling chuffed with his side. 2 great wins back-to-back. Winning on Friday Night Football last Friday. And Michael Voss. Their side's playing these two sides next week. Bulldogs against Collingwood. There's the bounce. Over the top, falling to the ground was Swan. Comes down towards half forward for Collingwood. Dick fell over. Crouch stayed on his feet and kicks down towards half forward, leading up all the time. Goods is winning that battle, certainly on the lead. Presta Giacomo, I think, has an area where he's decided he'll let him go. Well, that's a beautiful kick, though, and that's the danger with letting him go.
That is a great kick. A great deep kick to the favoured side. And the beauty of that kick also, Dennis, was the fact that it took Nick Maxwell out of the equation, actually kicked it over his head. Now, he has been the influential player for Collingwood in that back 6 in the first quarter. No doubt they would have spent some time talking about him at the quarter-time break.
So Moore will kick from about 30 metres out. Will it be the first goal for the Swans? He's got it. Been a while coming. And the game tightens up.
Well, Presta Giacomo doesn't have the speed to go with Adam Goods. We've seen him push hard to the ball on a number of occasions, but on this occasion, when he actually did kick the ball inside 50, it was an effective kick to the favoured side. They've changed the mix a little bit. It's 1-on-1. In the first quarter, they were quite prepared. For the second part of that quarter, Sydney were prepared to go with a spare player behind the ball and allow Nick Maxwell to be that spare player for Collingwood. But now they've decided to shut that down. I think that'll work in their favour.
So O'Brien on Goods. That goalless first term for Sydney was the first time this season has happened.
I thought they might have started with Harry O'Brien on Adam Goods at the beginning of the game because of that pace and the fact that he does push so hard to the ball.
He was on O'Loughlin, of course, right at the start, O'Brien. And Moore has a good goal-kicking record against the Pies. He kicked 3 against them last year in one match. Bolton out of the centre, banging forward, but straight in the arms of Davis. So Davis to centre wing. Fraser worked under it by Bolton. Back to Grundy, liked his opening term. And that's a nice kick too. Barlow had a good run at it. Probably a bit stiff not to be paid. Maxwell's handball good to Fraser, to Didac. Clever little kick. Gee, Davis is up again and going, and now Didac. Half a miscue, but he put it into a bit of a dangerous spot. Bevan free kick against Lockyer.
Put some numbers on here, Sydney, if he looks up quickly.
So the careful kick to Craig Bolton. I say careful kick, but it wasn't administered all that well. And another one was a 50-50.
Sliding in Shaw. Comes back to him. Robbed of it by Swan. Eventually, out of defence, making hard work of it. O'Keefe towards half forward. Bounces on its point. Knocked forward down there by Barlow. Straight into the arms of the waiting O'Brien. A little untidy. Clever by Jolly. He's a big man with finesse. A rare combination. At the base of that Didac. Hand pass comes out from Smith. Taken by Barlow. O'Keefe. Not his best kick. Getting into his move very early. O'Loughlin. Bolton. Now an opportunity for Jack. Down towards full forward. Good use of the body by White. Leads back in the race. Brown, though, the only man left standing, paddles it across the line.
Gee, the match is at an interesting stage. I know it's really early in the game, but
the setup's better, though, now. This favours Sydney more than what it did in the first quarter.
Smith and Didac. Good Georgie's brave Smith. Ooh. That was brilliant. Jolly. Goods' half volley was terrific. Lovely by Maxwell, though. Good pressure, Maxwell. Well done, Collingwood. The captain led there, and now Swan on the burst. Lovely kick, and Cloak's got it.
That was great pressure.
Yep.
You called it right. That was great midfield pressure. They are the critical turnovers. You get them in that part of the ground. And Swan got off the leash then too against Reece Shaw. That's great play there by Smith. Great, courageous play, but they just couldn't work it out of that congestion.
And Goods' brilliant half volley was turned into an advantage for Collingwood because Maxwell was able to pressure the ball off him. So Cloak, quite opening a quarter. Grundy had hold of him. It's his first kick for the day. Directly in front, basically, and he puts it through. So Collingwood keep a couple in front.
Travis Cloak, who equalled his career high when he kicked 5 goals against Sydney in round 21 last season. 21 goals for the season this year. Swan involved in the build-up, just 3 possessions so far. But he's capable of getting some, and quickly. Pendlebury out of the middle. Swan soccers it forward. Cloak stood his ground, taken down by Jolly. Grundy out of there by Lockyer. O'Brien floats one inside the forward 50. Good mark. Crouch. Sydney look up for it. But so far Collingwood playing slightly the better. Sydney a lot of early errors. O'Keefe stayed on his feet terrifically well. Bit stiff. Kirk. O'Keefe finding the football. O'Keefe. He kicks it up towards the wing. Poor kick. Beams dropping back takes the mark.
Again, great defensive pressure then from Collingwood to force the turnover. They're working hard around the contest.
On the overlap, Shaw inside the forward 50. Didn't look. Bevan goes back.
The Sydney Swans build-ups are much slower. They don't break hard. They don't break quickly. They wait until they sort themselves out. But they've been forced to kick down the line 2 times in a row now.
Reece Shaw running into Dick there.
That's not the way they play, though. That's not the way Sydney want to play. That kick then really should be going to somebody who's presenting up to some space. They haven't been able to organise themselves nearly quickly enough from half-back.
Maxwell's becoming such a figure, isn't he, going into September at the moment? Just then again, remember Jason Cloak a few years back, the way he was playing as the spare defender, and then he got reported in that final series?
Well, he actually is quite happy to play on someone, Nick Maxwell, but it's just the fact that he reads the ball so well in the air, and he's quite prepared to come off his man in an attacking sense as well.
I mean, we saw Hodge last year, Tim, play such a quarterback role, didn't we, through the finals? You feel like Maxwell's going to be a target for the opposition, that is for sure. They're going to put a lot of work into him. Goods and O'Brien. Good second effort by Goods. Didak and then O'Brien. Did well there, Goods.
Come on.
So the footy comes out to Wellingham, to Fraser off one step, banging it back, and again all the numbers with Sydney. Oh, sorry, I've just collected you, Dennis. Sorry, Grundy, are you all right, mate?
You play tough, Bruce. Ball kicked towards the midfield, and the mark is juggled by Brown.
That's the 3rd kick in a row that Sydney have tried to execute off half-back that hasn't been able to hit a target.
It's okay, Bruce. When we get to the tribunal, I won't be able to recall. I'll get you off. Wellingham runs down towards right half forward, kicks towards the goal square. Going back is Bolton. Well played. Eyes only for the footy. Craig Bolton. What a defender he's been. Initially with Brisbane. Takes a bit of courage to do that. Open up the rib cage. Mattner's got the football in the goal square.
Well, he doesn't lack any courage, does he, Bolton? I mean, he's demonstrated that time and time again over the years, that ability to just come off his man. We've been talking about Nick Maxwell at the other end of the ground, but Bolton's been doing that for years too.
I think, Tim, if you're a long-serving player at Sydney, courage is just ticked off. That's an automatic. Didak, straight up in the air virtually. Wood hammers it inside the 50. Leaping Leo is leaping. He's after the footy. They're after him. Down goes O'Keefe.
Just got a bit of rust in the system at the moment, Leo, hasn't he?
Second game for the year.
Exactly. You can't blame him at all.
A bounce. Knocked forward by Jolly, taken by Didak.
Not much rush there with Didak. And then the kick to centre half forward, demanding something of Anthony. Johnson lurking more. Tuvey couldn't quite. Almost gets a second crack. Anthony, well done, Moore. Then he goes down low. Rides it okay to Bolton. So far the Swans are holding up all right. Crouch has got to fetch it. Wood comes in. Crouch gets down. Moore in the back, surely.
There was another poor kick, though, off half-back.
Yep.
it actually should have hit their target. Then they would have been away. They've put themselves under enormous pressure in the second quarter by not able to execute.
So Moore comes out wide. Sydney build up.
Hanbury, promising youngster, goes down towards half forward, shows far too much of it to Maxwell.
That's Barlow's instruction, though. If Maxwell picks him up, he has to lead to the ball, and they will be told, the Sydney players, to honour that too, because if they don't, Maxwell won't see him as a dangerous player and he'll just slide back. It's the right play, just the poor execution on that occasion.
Well, he went with him then, Maxwell, but they kicked it to him. So maybe sometimes you trade off, but still the ball across half forward. The mark is taken by Smith. Gee, I like this young man.
He's good, isn't he? He sticks to his task well, but this is the second time where Sydney have actually switched the ball to in their forward line. The first set the goal up for Moore, so I think that would have been an area of concentration at quarter time too. Let's play the fat side. That's where it's open. That's where we're going to find some space. Good kick, good intelligent kick this.
Talking with the head honcho at Sydney, coming into the ground, Richard Collis. He likes their future. Oh. He's done a great job up there, and this kid's done a great job with that kick. Smith puts it through. Paul Smith. Nick Smith.
Well, I did get a chance to speak to Paul Roos about that young man before the game, Nick Smith. He's got a lot of faith in him. He played on Betts a couple of weeks ago and did a great job and had Jimmy Bartell last week. So looks like Paul Roos got him earmarked as a key tagger in the future.
It's a real bonus to us. His first goal for this season and only his second in his short career. So Moore and Smith, the goal kickers in this term. Well done, Wellingham, and lovely kick inside.
High free kick.
Medhurst has got beautiful hands.
Gee, who's mate doing that?
Well, he sort of thrives on that, doesn't he? And then Medhurst, well, straight to goods. So Collingwood's kicking. I know Swan's kick was a beauty to cloak earlier, but they've missed a few targets, haven't they?
Yeah, and interestingly, Harry O'Brien wasn't quite sure whether or not he should have gone all the way then with Adam Goods.
Barlow's dropped what he probably should have taken there. Medhurst, that's better. Don't think there was much wrong with the Goods kick. Barlow really had to grab it.
That is a really talented player, somebody that can force a kick into a crowded zone like that. There's a kick. That should have been taken there. Good defensive play again by Maxwell. They just got a hit on the wrist then. But Medhurst forcing that ball in to an area where there were about 5 Sydney Swan players.
He's kicked 44 goals this year, Jack. He's about 64% from set shots. So 6.5 out of 10. And he's just not quite got the radar working.
He's lost his smoothness, hasn't he?
Yep.
In his approach even to kicking for goal now.
And just going back to that Barlow miss too, I think sometimes when you play on a consummate spoiler like Maxwell, it does take your confidence away. He was almost waiting for the spoil. There's Matner. Under pressure, gets the kick away. Good one too. Bolton had to wait, showed courage, earned it. He's a left half back. Good game brewing here. Sydney giving as good as they're taking. They trail by 6.
So they've done their homework, Collingwood. They just close that space down the line.
Well, this will be difficult. Hanbury, Shaw, Bolton fought their way through it almost. Well played, Shaw. Stopped on a dime, as they say. Kicks down towards half forward. Fraser taken down by Goods, and the umpire will ball it up.
Thanks.
2 Collingwood players just jumped in that space down the line there, which actually stopped that short pass down the line that Sydney liked to execute.
2 of the best drill teams in the competition. Carried forward beams, no free. Johnson slips it away. Thomas across to Fraser along the line. Pendlebury's got long arms, and they stood him, if you'll pardon the expression, in good stead.
Kick to centre half forward. Bevan did very well. Barry, O'Dwyer, Shaw broke the tackle. Couldn't quite get much on the kick, but Moore did all right there, and off one step paddles it forward. Brown almost cut off by Bolton. Beams, got a lot of poise, Beams, for a youngster. O'Brien's kick. Medhurst waiting, and they're on here. Swan's on. Tim talked about his ability to run off quickly, Swan, and create. Kicks it inside. Good kill. Drop by Johnson. Goes back to Tuvey. Back to Swan. Now Swan about 55 out. Gives it a good ride. It's going right to the square. and it was going to be a behind anyway, but Crouch belts it over the line.
I love the way Swan played then, because Reece Shaw was in that passage of play on this side of the ground, on the near side of the ground, and as soon as he saw that he couldn't influence that Swan, he dashed across to the other side of the ground, thought, OK, if there's a turnover, I'm going to find myself in a bit of space here. He's had trouble getting away from Reece Shaw, but on that occasion he did it beautifully.
Reece Shaw, hearing from the Collingwood supporters, affects his kick. It bounces out towards the outer side. Tuvey, Johnson, close to the boundary line. Johnson goes long down towards the pocket. Coming over the top, Barry loves that situation. Swan had nowhere to go under the footy. And I think that Leaping Leo was quite compassionate there. Pike and Fraser.
Think of them.
Pendlebury had a half chance. Over the top goes O'Keefe.
They've slowed Collingwood though, haven't they? They're actually playing, or Collingwood are really playing a Sydney brand of football at the moment, which is a win for the Swans.
Holding, Josh Fraser. Holding, free kick.
Gee, these are big free kicks, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Against an inexperienced ruckman, rugby player from Canada and French provincial team, and give away a shot at goal. And
is that really a free kick though?
Of course it's not.
That's not a free kick. Now how are you supposed to teach him now if he gives away a free kick like that and we don't even know what the free kick's for? He's trying to learn the game.
And Fraser, who's a skillful player, he hasn't been good from set shots so far this year, but in his comeback game he puts it through. So Collingwood sneak away.
Margin out to 13 points now. Jolly and Fraser will go at it, aided by a good bounce. Fraser showed the judgment, plays it to his own advantage. Well done. Grundy slipped over. Kirk on his knees. It's coming back to Kirk.
They stopped. They could have tackled you, Adam. They could have tackled you.
So Kirk's got the footy. Goes out very wide towards the wing, and Grundy pushing up from half-back. Looks inside the forward 50. O'Keefe, what a mark. What a mark. So hard to mark those, Tim.
Oh, that was coming at him like a bullet. Here's the non-advantage, though, too. No, he was away. I mean, I don't know what the umpire was talking about there either. This is a bullet-like pass under extreme pressure there from Heath Shaw, and bang.
So O'Keefe, important kick now. And he pulls it to the near side.
Dangerous little spot for Sydney at the moment. I mean, it's only 2 goals, but Collingwood get the next one. They get that breathing space, which they often do against the Swans. They've won their last 7. Mattner probably should have got a free kick. Anthony over the shoulder on the way down. Crouch gets it from Moore, and then Crouch's kick's terrible inside.
That's hurt them.
Didak to Shaw. They weren't playing this time last year, were they, those two?
No.
Cloak takes the mark. It's got to be a bonus for Collingwood going into September. That's a lovely kick. It puts Bevan in a very awkward spot if that ball gets on the deck and Dick can run. Anthony tapping forward and then off Dick and a boundary throw in.
That was a good call on your behalf then, because you could almost see that's exactly what Bevan was thinking when they went to that contest. If this bloke slips in behind me and I'm on the ground, I'm not going to be catching him.
So boundary throw in just outside the 50. A lot of hanging on there. Wood should have got it free. Doesn't matter. Comes down to Lockyer. Hand passes to O'Brien, who's through and he misses. Or does he? Well, it was coming back. Hit the post. There was a lot of left to right in that one. Wasting no time. Sydney, as Bolton gave it to Jack. This is White. Breaking hard for him. Hanbury goes in that direction. Reading it best off the boot. Shaw stepped by Hanbury. And the ball ricochets out of bounds. John Longmire looking on. Had that piece on him starting the term. We often forget what a good player John Longmire was.
In a great team too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
See, the move of O'Brien on the Goods has been a good one too, hasn't it? Goods hasn't featured as strongly since Harry O'Brien went to him. has the pace to go with him all the way up the ground, and it's just cut that conduit off.
Josh just reminds me that it's 98 goals the horse in 1990 as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Davis, free kick.
One of those guys who played with a great player. It's a bit like Roughhead.
Yep.
With Franklin.
Bradshaw with Brown, eh?
Yep.
So Davis, who's had a bit of the ball in the back half. He's got it. Kicks most of his goals after half-time, Davis, this year. Not sure why, but that's the way it is.
Does he?
Yep. Big discrepancy in the two. 25 of his 33 after half-time.
That's amazing.
So Beams back to Pendlebury. Well done, Pendlebury. Sold a little dummy. Tried the half-volley. Medhurst couldn't quite. Barry Clever to Bevan, and away goes the Swans.
One bounce, Bevan kicks beyond the wing. O'Loughlin on a searching lead. Thought about giving it off. Barlow offers, trying to drag Maxwell up the ground. Succeeded in doing that. Jolly is dropping back. He's outnumbered. Brown came over the top. Follows up his own ball. Wellingham slips a hand pass away. It was a hot one. Down goes O'Brien. Managed to get boot to ball in the opposite direction. Mackner was taken down. Hanbury spots Goods. And Goods has taken the mark. 35 metres out. Some commitment from the Sydney Swans there. That started it across half back.
Finished it. It was a hard out though too, wasn't it? They locked the ball in, but that was a good finish by Hanbury just to lower the eyes. Goods, who'd lost Harry O'Brien, went deep and then found himself in some space.
This guy is on Brownlow pace this season. Up in so many categories. Kicks the goal. His goals are up this season too.
The extraordinary thing about Adam Goods is that even though he's been playing at centre-half forward, he's still been getting midfield-type numbers.
Yeah.
He gets involved in so much of the game. He pushes up the ground, we know that, but he covers so much territory still inside the forward half. He's a really difficult bloke to pick up. I mean, Harry O'Brien lost him then. He just worked his backside off to get back into the goal square area. Then he worked out from the goal square again, and Harry O'Brien was just standing in space guarding no one.
So Goods has moved up to the wing. The other thing with Goods, a lot of miles on the clock, Tim, on over 250. He's a bit like Richo. He seems to be as good an athlete now as he was 5 years ago.
I think he's lost nothing in the athletic department whatsoever.
But he's pushing towards 30, and he's played a whole lot of footy. Swans handball not going in the right direction as far as Collingwood were concerned. Well done by Jolly, but he didn't get much on the kick. Maxwell kept his poise. Beams. O'Loughlin searching for it. Sydney making a bit of a surge here. O'Keefe got rid of it in a hurry. Heathshaw was just terrific. And then Presti hacks it out of the fence. Crouch and Wellingham. Crouch will want the line, and he gets it.
The great thing is the pressure that's now being applied by the Sydney Swans forwards as well. Collingwood are finding it much more difficult to actually break and then overlap and move the ball as effectively as what they did in parts of the early parts of this game.
John Longmire and Paul Roos would have loved what they saw moments ago. Back-to-back tackles, firstly from O'Dwyer and then Hanbury. Terrific pressure. Wonderful play there by Medhurst, and Swan, who's having not his best day. It's out of bounds. Swan has been held to just 7 possessions, and by his lofty standards, that's not so flash.
That's way below. But Pendlebury and also Kirk having a great battle in the midfield.
No, Sydney are different to most sides. Pendlebury held up by Shaw, and the umpire will bounce it. Approaching half-time. 7 points the difference. Collingwood on top. As we said, if they lose this afternoon, what a game it sets up next week. Both sides, I'm sure, well, can't speak for them, but they would prefer to finish so they can play Geelong from 3rd. Down goes O'Keefe. Moore in the opposite direction. Tough. Tuvey. Medhurst measures a hand pass stolen away by O'Dwyer. Chief possession getter in the opening term. O'Dwyer kicks to the outer side. Again, Maxwell stole the march on Barlow simply because he read it better, but Goods, like the cavalry, arrives and kicks down towards half forward.
O'Loughlin charge back to Goods. Still having a huge influence, Goods. Kicks it into the centre. If it bounces for Moore, well done, Moore. Clever to Bevan. Bevan can look up. Does he go for goal? He does, and kicks it through. Good game, Tim.
No, that is an excellent game of football. You knew coming here today that you were going to get a contest at the very least. Here's Jared Moore, just committed his body to that, got a knee in the rib cage. He's still buckled over there in pain, but he committed himself to the contest, to his team, just knocked the ball on. They kept the ball alive. And that was good play here by Bevan too, just to seize the moment there and understand that the right thing to do was to have a shot at goal from there.
There's only a few minutes before that where Paul Roos made the change to bring Paul Bevan onto the field and take off Daniel Hanbury, who'd been playing at a defensive accountable forward on Heath Shaw. Roosy decided to go with Bevan and end up in a goal as one of the City Swans boys comes off injured.
Jared Moore copped a knee in the ribs. And again, he showed a lot of courage, went up for the ball, opened himself up and took a knee. Down goes Smith.
I reckon in contested possession in this last 5 minutes, Sydney have got on top of Collingwood. They've more than matched them in that department, so the challenge is now back at the feet of Collingwood. As we see Moore there, still buckled over in pain.
That passage where O'Dwyer won the ball was so important on half-back a moment ago, I reckon.
That kick from Goods too, that adventurous kick back into the middle of the ground opened it up.
Beams kicking down towards half-forward. Coming up the ground, Medhurst. Takes a deflection, goes to Swan, over the head of the leading Davis, getting in behind, trying to take the mark, eventually digging it out, Wellingham. Taken by Beams, went to ground, pushing the back.
Landed on top of him. Dane Beams. No.
You played no free kicks to us. Same today. Same today.
Time off.
And he's got a long memory, and he's very unforgiving, is Jared Crouch.
He might have been... Scotty McLaren may have read Tim Lane's article today in the paper, actually. He was writing about this very thing.
Mind you, I think it was in the back.
It was in the back. Often they're not paid, though, those ones.
That's what kills your argument, isn't it? So Beams kicks from 40 metres out and he's tugged it left. And while on the subject, Tim, I've got to say the other night, I was a bit tough on umpire Vozzo. Cam Mooney was lined up perfectly on that angle. So I apologise. If you're keeping score at home, it's umpires 103 committee 1.
It's a mismatch, Den.
I'm in trouble.
Crouch, Bolton, and now O'Brien. Collingwood pressing hard here just before half-time. O'Dwyer gives another free kick away, his second. Well, the advantage is played that time. They obviously weren't going to tackle Dick, and he kicks the goal. So the youngsters give it there,
Jared Moore.
And O'Dwyer's going to
he may even have a cracked rib. I mean, the way that he was exposed, the knee that went into his ribs. But here's the free kick that was clearly given away there by O'Dwyer. Mismatch there. The ball was just turned over too quickly. Anthony used his body really well, recognising the fact that he was against an undersized player, just pushed his body back in, drew the free kick. And Dick, who just has so much pace, swoops on the ball.
So Brad Dick is the coaches enthralled like we are. They're not so happy at the moment.
I reckon we saw more animation from Paul Roos last weekend than we've seen in his whole coaching career too.
There's a bit of animation there too. Hacked out of midair by Jack inside the 50. Hanbury tries to lay it off. Stolen away brilliantly by Shaw. Fed it forward. Dying seconds of the term. Fraser could have given it to Johnson. He goes wide. Johnson continues to run, but Lockyer can't complete the mark.
Heath Shaw has been outstanding again, hasn't he? Just had 9 touches. He's ran. He's bounced the ball. But that bit of play then, he's back to his absolute best form. I reckon he lost his way there for a while, Heath Shaw, but he's back to his absolute best at the moment.
Fraser clean possession. Johnson kicks down towards full forward. Anthony is out. Numbered almost the mark, though. Spills to Dick. Was he pushed in the back? No.
Yes, he was.
He was, as it turns out. He may have dressed it up a lot.
Just tackled him without the ball, Jared. Pushing the back.
Geez, caused some concern there, hasn't he, Dick?
The ball, mate.
Watch this again. I'm not sure that's a tackle. I'm not sure it's in the back, but Dick's got the footy.
As soon as he felt contact,
as soon as there was contact,
he lunged forward, didn't he?
He did. And Jared spoke out last time. Different umpire, but They've got great hearing, those umpires. Do you hear player abuse on the mics, do you think, Bruce, from one umpire to the other? They are a brethren. Dick comes in and hits the post. Maybe a fair result. Broad smile. Terrific first half. Collingwood 39, Sydney 30 on Sunday Football.
So out come the Pies. Half-time, they lead it by 9 points over the Swans. Swans went out pretty early, but Ricky, out there early, but I believe they're one man down.
Yeah, major concern out of the Sydney Roos, Mac, as you mentioned. They will go into this half one man down because Jared Moore, who we saw get poleaxed just before half-time, got a knee to the ribs. Well, the word out of the rooms is he has a punctured lung and he's on his way to the hospital. Remember, Teddy Richards did that a few weeks back. Well, Sydney Swans have now lost another player to the same injury, so real concern down there in the Sydney Rooms.
Good report there from Ricky, and that is, I reckon that's the worst position you find yourself in AFL football, the one that he found himself in there, where he was just exposed completely. You got the other player who's, I mean, he didn't do anything untoward. Sure, he was going for the ball, but he got the knee in that part of the back that you just can't protect.
I think we mentioned that too when Bolton was going back in the goal square, reaching, and a bloke was coming from behind. He could have really been collected, but players do it week in, week out, and they know the risk involved. So a lot to play for in this second half. Intriguing finish to the season coming up next week. So much hinging on that result in Perth later today. Collingwood 9 points up after they led by 11 points at quarter time. Low scoring affair. Sydney didn't kick their first goal until early in the second term.
Interesting move here too. It looks like Adam Goodes will start the second half in the midfield. He's going into the centre alongside Reece Shaw. He'll still stick to the task of trying to quell the influence of Dane Swan.
We talked before too about Sydney games having their own distinctive features. So do the stats in a Sydney game. They're all way down for both clubs. Didak and Smith. Smith has been good. Second half Sunday Football at the MCG on a glorious Melbourne afternoon. Terrific bounce to start proceedings. Fraser got first hand to it. O'Keefe falling to the ground. Jolly trying to get through. Grundy, ditto, taken down by Tuvey.
So now Mick Malthouse has to decide what does he do with Adam Goodes. Does he play someone on him in the midfield, or does he just wait and see? Goodes now pushing forward from that contest into the forward line. Collingwood
wearing black armbands this afternoon too, in respect of Michael Malthouse's mother, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. Inside the 50, Bolton. Well, that was a kick in hope. He was off balance, and it slews out of bounds in the right full forward pocket.
Gee, missed Goodes then though too, Dennis. He'd pushed into some space at half forward.
So O'Brien from the back pocket gets it outside the 50.
Holding, grabbed him, threw him out of the way first.
So Fraser's free kick against Jolly, so that's a real soft free kick. It was there, that's for sure. Cloak almost. Grundy, well done. And then Bolton. Just dropping it down there was Jude Bolton. Collingwood emerge. Medhurst so constructive to Beams. And then Beams, good kick. Right to full forward Anthony. Well done, Roberts-Thompson. Because jumping Jack's a hard man to beat in the air.
Jack didn't seem to have a plan, did he?
No. And Kirk gets it out to Jolly.
Grundy, the short one. Bevan, the longer one. Down towards half forward. Reaching over the top. Shaw, close to the boundary. Barlow taken across by Maxwell. His role to get Maxwell out of the road.
Looks like Tuvey now will go with Goodes. So if Goodes goes into the midfield, he'll follow him into the midfield. He goes forward. Harry O'Brien will pick him up.
Jolly slaps it down. Kirk boots a ball only just. Goodes comes to it. Well done by Lockyer. Stood his ground. Slapped down by Johnson to Beams. Well worked again. Fraser gave it to Swan. Pendlebury back to Swan. Terrific football. Drives it towards half forward. Collingwood no one inside the forward 50. Didak goes to Anthony. Running goalward now is Dick. The kick beat him by about a metre. He's finessing. Crouch is trying to get him off the footy. It trickles out the back. Third mouse got the cheese. Smith comes away. Short pass to Kirk. Bolton feeds it forward. Now some run coming off half-back. Reece Shaw holds up. Not much to kick to. Bolton's got it. Drives across the ground. Oh, terrific concentration there by Beams.
He just finds the footy, Beams. Smith was fantastic a minute ago in the back pocket. Lockyer to Johnson. Pendlebury, the wide runner. Used him as a decoy. Good kick.
Beautiful kick. Here's that bit of play by Smith again. Great play by... There he is. He gathers the ball. Smart move just to get around Didak, but then even greater composure to actually find Kirk in the middle of the ground.
Now we're talking about Anthony's set shots. He was averaging 70% earlier in his career from set shots. Over the last half a dozen weeks, he's down to 50%. So he's missed a couple today. That one's looking good.
Jack Anthony made his debut right here at the MCG against the Tigers, round 3 last season. And since then, he's kicked 45 goals in 19.5 games, plus a few minutes on this ground. Jolly up very high. Biggest lead of the game now for Collingwood. Could be a free kick to the Magpies too.
Right,
it'll go to Beams.
In the back against Adam Goods. See, this kid's showed some real composure, hasn't he, in his first year of AFL football?
Drives it long, straight down the middle. Bolton comes up. Had the sun to contend with, did it brilliantly.
Goods out wide.
Goods, yes, by himself. Nobody near him. Well, they've given him that one. Goods. Well, he needs to run at them and use the football here. Jack has got it. He's away, Jack. That was nice. Awkward kick, though. O'Loughlin couldn't get down. Jack kept coming, though. Jack's got the footy again. He plays footy like Arnie Jack. He wants to rip their bloody arms off. Marvellous. O'Dwyer's got it. Kicks inside the forward 50. Knocked down by Johnson. It's going to be a free kick. I think it'll go to Goods. He covered some ground there, too.
Don't you love the way that Kieran Jack went after that ball, though? It was a poor kick by him. It was the right idea. He actually lowered his eyes. He tried to hit Mickey O, but then the attack on the ball. And then again, fantastic play.
And his dad would love that.
Such a presence again, Goods, isn't he? I mean, one end to the other.
This will take a good kick, but it's not beyond him. He steps to the 50. A lot riding on this kick. It looks a beauty. How sweet it is. Straight through the middle.
Well, he's been the player of the afternoon so far. In fact, he may have 4 best on ground performances over the last 4 weeks. I mean, he's clearly been best on ground in a couple of those. And now, you know, going into the midfield too, he's put that question mark against the Collingwood midfield as to what do you do? Do you go with him all the way? Do you go with him half the way? He's going to go forward again. It just disrupts what they're trying to do in their own midfield.
Last 3 seasons, he had 20 Brownlow votes. He's the only man in history to have done that in each of the last 3. You'd reckon this is almost the best season of footy he's had, certainly the back half.
He's causing them some concern now as he pushes into the forward line again.
So Collingwood maintain that lead they had at half-time. Goal for goal, hard to get goals. O'Brien, Davis and Tuvey combined. Davis's kick out wide. Dick didn't take the mark. Then on the right foot, gets it deep into the goals. Rolling, rolling, all the way through. Well, that's a dead-eye, Dick.
That's close to the most extraordinary goal I've ever seen. Let's just watch. He was actually, I think he was almost outside 50. Here's the build-up again. Leon Davis kicking the ball forward. Here's the one-on-one contest. Almost takes the mark. There he's way outside 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bounces and it's through.
Well, he's got 2 goals. And Tim, they're the sort of players Sydney have trouble containing on big grounds. They don't fit any particular mould other than they're very quick.
They're not the only ones Sydney has trouble. I mean, they're not the only team that has trouble containing those sorts of players.
No. But they're game breakers against Sydney. And electrifying speed and skill.
I agree.
They've really opened up their forward line to Collingwood.
because all the discipline in the world just can't stop those sort of guys. O'Brien goes out wide, taken by O'Brien. Goes in short on the lead. Lockyer run down from behind by Barry. Barry's got him, and that ball is not coming out. So a bounce just outside the attacking 50. Collingwood 7-9 now. Sydney 5-6. The margin was 9 points at half-time. Up in front, Jolly slaps it along the 50. Smith again. Goods again. He's got a roving commission. All the figures, all the indicators suggest he's going to be right in the mix for the Brownlow. Meantime, all mixed up is O'Keefe, and he's going to be holding the ball. Wellingham coming over the top. Sydney can't concede a goal here. Cloak centering kick. Who wants it? Well, they all stood and watched, and Wood came up and marked on his chest.
Gee, that ball stayed in the air a long time. It should have been cut off there. John Longmire just pulling his hair out, trying to wonder why. There's a great tackle there by Wellingham. He really tied O'Keefe up. He had nowhere to go then.
Sometimes...
Watch this. I mean, this has gone 45, 50 metres.
But sometimes discipline can harm you, and right there it did. All the Sydney players reluctant to leave their men. So Wood's got the football and should kick a goal from 35 metres out. And does.
You're right, Dennis, but that's the time where the smart players come off their man.
Oh, sure.
And they intercept. I mean, that's what you teach your players. You stay with your man, but then you're still going to play the ball in the air. Here's this long kick across to the centre of the ground, and as you can see there, I mean, Kieran Jack so concerned probably about Leon Davis. He's got him manned up. All the other Sydney Swans players, the defenders, are standing on their man, and then it's Wood, the ruckman, who floats forward and finds the ball.
Game's opening up a bit, and Collingwood get the big margin of the match. Wood doing his chances no harm. He's had a pretty solid month, Cameron Wood. Stepping in when Josh Fraser was injured. Adam Goods, that one terrific, smothered by O'Brien, and then punching it forward. And a terrific mark by Anthony. He's a great one-on-one competitor.
They've got this wonderful ability, though, Collingwood, with the talent they have now, just to surge at different stages of games. And that's what we're seeing here at the moment. They've really put a sprint on.
Just about burying Sydney in 5 minutes, aren't they?
They can. And talented sides can do that. That was a wonderful smother then from O'Brien in the centre of the ground.
So Anthony has kicked a couple. He's had a few shots. His last set shot was a beauty. Can he back it up? He does. He's kicked three. Collingwood's away now.
Bruce made a very good point there about Anthony. He is one of the best I've ever seen at engaging his defender. He's like Harry Houdini taking that, whatever it is, off the corset or whatever he's locked into, gets the arms free at the last minute and takes the mark. Here's Swan. Spills wide. Wellingham goes after it. O'Keefe looking to pluck it. Tosses it up in the air. Pike knocked it down. Shaw missed his target. Coming away as Dett goes down towards half forward. Well taken by Roberts-Thompson. I've got the numbers around the footy. Jack loops one over the top, but it was an errant hand pass. Swan back to Wood. Didak. Sydney have got to hang on here. This ride is getting bumpy. Medhurst inside the forward 50. Well, so much for Anthony. He slipped over. Harry Houdini just drowned, and the mark was taken by Leo Barry.
He's produced a couple of Harrys himself over the years, hasn't he, Dennis?
He has.
Had a couple of magicians going together. So Good's the go-to man. Well, they've got to get the scoreboard ticking, the Swans. They can find that hard to do at the best of times.
As good as the possessions are for Goods at this part of the ground, I still reckon he's more dangerous when he's in the forward half.
It's a well-weighted kick and a good mark by White. But it's slow progress.
This is the critical one, this next bit of play.
Now Shaw's got a little bit of space. No, missed it.
I just want to show Pike at the last centre bounce. Now, he's only been involved in the game of short space. Just look at the lift he gets here. terrific bit of play, and then able to just shift hands in the air too. I mean, that showed a little bit of talent then.
It's his 8th game today. You'd have to say the experiment's been reasonably successful, wouldn't you?
There's a bit to work with.
Medhurst in a bit of space. Clever. Roberts-Thompson under pressure. Did very well to Barry.
Barry low down to Grundy with some time. Needs it all too. Anthony arriving quickly. Roberts-Thompson. Barry. Now Grundy. Again uses most of the available time. Kicks it up towards the wing. Barlow gets into the back of Fraser. Lurking behind was Maxwell. That was going to be one no matter how it came. By Collingwood. Didak is short. That was clever by Fraser too. He made sure no one was coming off the interchange gates before he went to Didak, who goes along the boundary. And the mark is taken by Pendlebury. The interchange was Collingwood's.
Thank you.
But there were players milling in the pits as the ball goes down inside the forward 50. Thomas has taken the mark.
Just starting to lose a grip on this game, aren't they, the Sydney Swans? Not able to move the ball with any fluency whatsoever themselves, and they're not able to close Collingwood down when they have control of the ball.
Dale Thomas runs around, steps inside the 50. Not sure what he's trying to do with that kick. It goes to the kickoff line. Pike knocked it down. Wellingham missed it. Slapped up by O'Keefe. Swan's got it. Emerges with it. Bounces to the opposite pocket. Hanbury. Kirk. And now coming away O'Dwyer.
Running hard. Shaw running very hard behind him. O'Dwyer's kick, well, it was a good one in the end. It looked wobbly off the boot, but he found Smith, who finds Grundy.
That was a good kick by O'Dwyer.
Yep. They've got to kick the dangerous one a moment ago. A couple of minutes back, they had Mattner on his own in the centre square, and they wouldn't go to him, and they went down the boundary, and in the end, Reece Shaw kicked it out. Got to take a chance, Tim. Bevan to Barlow.
This is where some of their forwards have to get separation from their direct opponent. Collingwood right back in numbers now. There's not a lot of space.
So Barlow forced
in trouble
into a bad spot. Back to Roberts-Thompson. Now the other side of the ground, they have Barry on. They go back to Goods.
That would have been the kick then to switch the play, because you're going to shift the whole Collingwood zone when you go out wide.
Now O'Keefe. Now he's going to go out there, I think. He does.
That's the kick.
To Mattner, a lefty. He wanted to go, Mattner, but Swan just filled the spot.
That's better.
Yeah, wide on a long lead.
Jeez, that was smart play, because they actually had to shift the angle of the ball. It was a long, slow kick across the ground, but it got there, and then they opened up the other side. Collingwood didn't shift the zone quickly enough. Here's a great kick.
He's quick off the mark wide, isn't he?
He's big. He's a great talent. There's plenty to work with there.
A good pick by Pike, too.
So wide, is that coming back? No. So Sydney really struggling here.
Johnson to Wood. Thomas over the top. Big roar has gone around the ground for the other game being played this afternoon. Here's Smith. Told to play on. They've been confused by the roar. He crawls after the footy. O'Keefe. Bolton runs beyond the wing. Probing kick. They should mark this one, Sydney. Oh, wonderful courage, Maxwell. Went back on Bevan. O'Loughlin, we've seen that before. Misses the target, though. That's unusual. Stolen away by Beams. Well, he did it with Pike. It was Pike coming at him. Down goes Davis. Strong tackle brought him down. Jack was the man who brought him to ground, and the umpire will ball it up inside the centre square down towards half forward for Sydney.
That was a brilliant tackle there by Kieran Jack then. Had Davis cold, but didn't go into his back. Actually turned with him.
Pike fell over. Fraser kept his feet. Jude Bolton couldn't quite. Pendlebury got down low. And Beams and Mattner. Just need a goal, the Swans. They've got to get the next one.
Thanks, Martin.
Have to close this gap before three-quarter time. Well done, Wood. So they tag team there, the two big guys. Anthony's had a terrific quarter. Didak, so clever. And then Cloak. couldn't quite get the reflex, and then Anthony again improvising and belting it forward.
He's a real footballer, Anthony, isn't he? Every time he goes to the contest, you get the feeling that he's actually summed up the situation really well. He knows exactly what it is that he needs to do.
Pike over the top. O'Keefe missed the footy. Bolton knocks it forward to his namesake. Craig to Jude. Now an opportunity for Beams. Pulls it around the corner. Somehow Fraser's got in behind them. Needs a bit of time. Takes most of it and kicks a goal. An inquisition happening back where the ball was.
Well, if you look at that stoppage, Fraser didn't actually contest that stoppage. He just pushed to centre-half forward. There's Beams with the kick. He looks up and Josh Fraser's actually pushed to the goal square. He's on his own, so Clyde contested the stoppage. Josh Fraser just pushed into that space and probably a little bit lucky then to pick up the bobbling ball.
Got 3 goals out of there, Ruckman. Fraser 2, Wood 1 in this quarter. Fraser a second quarter goal as well. So Collingwood basically putting Sydney out of the finals race here now.
Free kick, Kirk grabbed his arm. Kirk against you, Scott grabbed his arm. You grabbed his arm, brought him the ground.
So no doubt what happened now. Kirk's kick, Goods outnumbered. O'Brien was at the back, Shaw at the front. O'Dwyer now at the back, Barlow. Maxwell's got him.
Defensively, they're very good, aren't they? Even that whole ball there, that high ball there that was coming into their back line, Shaw just moved back against Goods, which just stopped Goods from getting a run at the ball.
They've been a hard team to score against. In fact, over the last month, they've scored more for and had less against than any team in the comp.
No, it's great form.
So Johnson running the full measure with a few bounces. Cloak with strength. It's all opening up now. Anthony couldn't quite that time. Lockyer looking up. Probably could have gone straight on with it. Back to Cloak. Left foot looking good. No, not quite. Good effort though. Well,
if you look at those stats, that's why I reckon when it comes to the business end of the season, they are going to really trouble the very best sides, St Kilda included.
Short one, problem. Shaw, Dent surrounded, slaps it towards goal. Crouch under pressure, gets the kick off only as far as Medhurst, who decides to stamp out his mark.
They're getting untidy now, Sydney, but it's that sustained pressure that they applied in the first half. They keep maintaining it right throughout the course of a game, Collingwood. You know, and eventually if you don't have the players who are really smart, if you don't have the good decision makers, if you don't have the good executors, and you don't get the numbers around the ball, after a while your whole game breaks down, and that's what we're seeing at the moment.
So Medhurst never on line. Behind. Well, the competition getting more remarkable by the day. 71-37. Collingwood. A Strawny fan.
You tell me you and Strawny are pretty close then at the moment.
I wouldn't say that, Bruce.
I'll tell you what, he'll have trouble getting into this team at the moment, Strawny. There's a hard team to get into.
Well, Tim Starkey was left on the cutting room floor.
Here's Medhurst.
Some of our best stuff.
Wood.
Never see the light of day.
Collingwood have won 11 out of 12 coming in. The last time they won 12 out of 13 in a season, they played in 2 grand finals, 1977. So they're going to take some terrific form into September.
It's in the back.
Yep.
So no free kick to Bolton. Lee Brown. Haven't seen a lot of him on the stat sheet, but what a good job he's done for Collingwood this year. Maxwell, Tuvey, Johnson, O'Brien. Well, he's gone.
Oh,
gee, that's holding the footy.
Yep.
Not paid, unfortunately, if you're a Swan supporter.
That's a terrible non-decision, isn't it? Here, just caught cold here. Well, incorrect disposal. Had to get rid of the ball then.
And the forearm was up in the throat, wasn't it?
Yep.
Barlow's had one of those days. Doesn't pay to be a teaser stallion. Tuvey, we knew that coming in as the ball bounces towards the boundary and goes out. It's hard to sell that to a player too, isn't it? Your job is just to lead where the ball ain't. Oh, really? In front, Jolly grabs it. Oh, torpedo. This will be hard to mark. It's coming down on its point. Mickey's seen that before, was held without it. He'll get the free kick on the wing, approaching three-quarter time. And Collingwood, with one of those waves that Tim was talking about, riding it for all it's worth. Bolton, nothing much deep for him, except Goods. Oh, almost a terrific mark. The one, it's paid. Well done.
Pull it down, then he hit your back and it bounced out. Go ahead, point.
There's the initial three.
Right out.
Here's the mark. Rather kind, I would have thought.
It was on the cusp of a mark. Jesse White kicks a goal. Long time coming. Second of the term.
Now, Dennis, would you say, just looking at this mark again, White over Brown, a fair shade of grey?
Very good, Tim.
I had some help.
Oh, what are they doing with you on that cutting room floor? Hey?
The actual umpire, I think it was Scotty McLaren then, said that it would have been a mark, but he actually hit his back and the ball came out. Well, it's not a mark then, is it? Does it matter how the ball comes out?
Would have been a goal,
No.
would have been a goal, but it hit the post. So 71-43. So the Swans get it inside 5 goals, but it's a big margin. Collingwood have been terrific in this third term. Didak out towards Swan. Reece Shaw. Swan, maybe a Swan dive, eh? Just a little one. Johnson back. Davis to Swan, and then Swan with that lovely little kick to Lockyer. He's had a quietish one, and then Lockyer on the burst. Beauty to Anthony, who's becoming more formidable as the moments tick by.
They've got strength in all areas too, haven't they? I mean, their back line is terrific. It's solid. They work for each other. They've got a good deep midfield group of players, and they've got some real stars up the forward line.
I reckon bottom line now, if they played anyone in the competition, they'd start favourite. Against all comers. Anthony's kick right there. I don't care who they were playing next week, I reckon they'd be a bookmaker's favourite.
You've been peaking. They're getting ahead of the game.
And they've got a game plan that stands up in the heat of September too.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Not saying they'll win, I reckon they'd be bookmakers' favourites.
So this is athleticism there.
I'll say. White running down the boundary, goes looking for Pike. Very much a work in progress. I think that was out of bounds on the full. It was. Pike just the one possession this afternoon. That was a hand pass. O'Brien clever. He used Maxwell as a decoy. Everyone's been doing that. Across the ground, O'Brien. Tuvey. Now where's the next move going to come from? Oh, that was clever by Thomas. He dropped off. Mickey thought he was running to the outer side. Thomas just dropped off behind him. Sneaky. Short one to Beams. And that was a terrific grab.
He deserved that, Beams. Gee, worked hard to get that space. Started on this side of the ground. He just broke into that space when he saw that the ball was going out to Tuvey.
Driven by Beams towards half forward. Swan kept his balance. Anthony thought about a hand pass. Goes along the line, stretching Medhurst.
And then Medhurst off one step, quickly into Cloak. And I reckon that those 3 kicks are just a great example of how clever Collingwood can play the game.
You know, I reckon Jack Anthony, I've seen him kick more goals than he's kicked today, but I don't know if I've ever seen him have a better game. I don't know that I've ever seen him influence the game more than what he has today. Some of the work that he's done as he's got higher up the ground has been just brilliant.
So Cloak has kicked a goal, and that's lovely off the boot, but just fading at the end. So 1 goal to Cloak today, 21 for this year, got 40 last year. He's had not his best season, but good enough. And the question lingers, I guess, about Anthony Rocker, who apparently played very well yesterday. He's sort of insurance a bit, isn't he? He's the bloke they've got up their sleeve.
Yeah, I don't think he's in their best side anymore.
So Bolton in the back half. You know, Lachlan running hard, but Collingwood have put some space between them and the Swans in the third term. And at three-quarter time, it's 73-43. Davis's kick out wide. Dick didn't take the mark. Then on the right foot, gets it deep into the goals. Rolling, 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 all the way through. Well, that's a deny, Dick. Yeah, what a goal it was. Collingwood were terrific in that quarter. They stretched that lead out to 5 goals. It's 73-43, and seemingly having it in control. Well, another game played today. North Melbourne up against St Kilda. This is late in the game. Drew Petrie, who kicked 4 goals today. They kicked the first 5 today, North, as they did earlier in the year. Petrie, I love him when he's forward, Tim.
No, he's an outstanding player.
So he got 4. Brad Scott and James Brayshaw. Of course, Brad Scott going to coach the team. He'd be with Collingwood normally. Now have a look at this. Nick Riewoldt again. He'd kicked 3 today, so had Cozzy. 6 of their 8. That's touched by Grimer on the line. And the Saints go down 2 in a row. And North Melbourne, and Darren Crocker's suddenly feeling a whole lot better about the world, isn't he? Have a look at that. So, remarkable. So, the first time that 1 and 2 have lost in the same weekend since round 9, 2007. Both Geelong and the Saints lose. Ricky, down to you.
Thanks, Mac. I've got the assistant coach of the Swans, John Blakey. Well, John, you lost the grip on the game in that quarter. What do you put that down to?
Oh, look, obviously we're 1 down. We lost Jared Moore that quarter, so it hurt our rotations a little bit. But our ball use today has been absolutely terrible. And if we don't hit targets, they hurt you the other way.
It's probably just about your most important quarter for the season. You've got a slight chance of making the finals. You do need to win. What do you do in this last quarter? Do you take the shackles off and take some risks?
Yeah, look, we do. We'll throw Goodsy into the middle. We'll just leave him in the middle now, and hopefully that he can generate something for us. And hopefully Jesse White can stand up as a centre-half forward.
All right, thanks for your time, Blake. It's on your mates up.
So three-quarter time, last quarter not far away. Kirk coming to the interchange.
He summed it up pretty well then, didn't he? Talking about butchering the ball. They have done that. Even in that first quarter when they had a lot of opportunities going forward, they weren't able to execute. And it's been a constant worry for them all afternoon. I reckon you can't discount the fact, though, the pressure that's been applied by Collingwood, the sustained, consistent pressure that they apply. They don't mind playing footy in the trenches, and that's why their game has been built for September action. And as we can see now, I mean, St Kilda are beginning to falter. Maybe. It's a long, hard road, a season of AFL footy.
Start of the final term on a Sunday at the MCG. Collingwood lead by 30 points. Wood knocks it down. Beams, Didak goes down towards half forward. Anthony, who's been very good. It bounced for Davis. Davis hasn't been required to do too much with the outside of the boot. Fraser bounces it down to Medhurst, the All-Australian last season. Comes back, some indecision. Wellingham goes after the football. Crouch eventually playing from a crouch. Kicks it outside the forward 50 of the mark is taken by White. Is playing at centre-half forward now. Grundy goes past. Goods is on the ball. Leading in the race towards the boundary. Barlow. Almost dismissive was Tuvey. Tuvey sends play down towards half forward, and Cloak, will it stay in? It does.
Good bounce for him too. And then Cloak with a low 1 minute. It's nearly a slips catch. It's good effort. Then Shaw pushing forward. Bevan has to ride it. A tough handball for Shaw. Bolton, they haven't taken it cleanly. They're in trouble now. So ball up.
Tackling, no chance.
Continues to do a good job too, Reece Shaw. Dane Swan's had just 16 touches. Dane Beams has been the #1 ball collector on the ground with 18.
12 of the last 13 matches, Swans had 30 plus.
Recall. Recall. Offline bounce. Throwing it up.
So they reset. Jolly gets the tap. Craig Bolton. Quick kick. O'Brien. Does it stay in? I think Harry was having a bit each way there. He didn't mind one way or the other, did he?
Did you read about Harry's special chair he spoke about in an interview today? He read somewhere that Einstein had a special chair that he used to go and sit and think, and so Harry went and bought himself a very special chair.
Does it count if it's not the same chair? Davis, hard against the line, smothered. Jolly missed his target. Jack taken by Didak. Contorts himself and pulls it back towards the middle. Barry. That was guts. That was careless. Roberts Thompson, although I think he might have tried to pull the kick because there was nothing on offer. And Grundy had the same problem. White goes back to the middle. Look out. O'Keefe taken down. No prior opportunity, I wouldn't have thought. The umpire will ball it up.
Doesn't want to be the captain, Harry, just the chairman.
Cutting room floor. I can't believe it.
Tim's been stung, hasn't he?
He has.
Big belt forward. Here's Bolton. He's just hoping like crazy, Dennis, that Strawny's listening today.
There's no iron Logie. Well, yes, there is.
Here's Didak. A little one inside, and, well, Beams doesn't make too many blues. We'll forgive him for that. Mickey nearly smiled then, but not quite.
That was a smile, Bruce. Yeah. Come on.
He's almost the model citizen, this young guy, isn't he? First year at the club. He's fitted in beautifully.
He doesn't do much wrong.
Oh, he's been terrific. Here's Goods. Twisting and turning and creating some space. Wouldn't you love to see a half an hour of magic from him in the last quarter to try and turn it?
Lee Brown's been good too. Gee, played that ball in the air beautifully then.
They picked him up in the 70s at the draft last year. They did pretty well there.
That was a terrific pickup. A lot of thought went into that, and it's paid off. O'Brien finds Davis. And this is one of the things going into September too. Hardly any injuries for Collingwood, so everybody is at peak fitness.
That's
and they're
right.
playing accordingly. They're outlasting teams. They're outrunning teams. And those ahead of them have got quite a few injuries. Just timing the run is difficult for their coaching staffs. Davis should kick the goal. Only problem is it might be too easy. Wasn't a challenge he needed, a behind.
Hit the post a few times at that end today, Collingwood. So Reece short to himself and then going long. Pike the target on Maxwell. That's a terrific win. And then Maxwell again banging it back in. Big fly. Oh, Roberts Thompson.
Yeah, free kick there. Lewis Thompson in the air.
He took a specky last week too and landed on his back.
Yeah, in the air you can't push him though.
He's done
Once
it
he's in
again.
the air,
Oh.
you push him, it puts him off balance.
Sure.
So against Anthony for a push. So how can Sydney conjure a couple of goals to put some scoreboard pressure on Collingwood? Jolly's marking half back.
Here's one guy who might spark them. Feeds it back to the corridor. Barry. O'Dwyer. They've got a man running. Jack. He can go inside the 50. Closing his 2v. Bacon square. How will this one bounce? Well, it didn't. It carried the line, but wide of the mark.
Gee, that was a great play there by Heath Shaw. You wouldn't have seen him even on screen there, but he picked up Adam Goods, who'd run out of the midfield, and he ran stride for stride with him and just took that option away from Kieran Jack.
This is O'Brien. Got it from Maxwell. Harry runs to the wing. Kicks to half forward. Thomas up very early. Couldn't take the mark. Barry goes after it. Still Barry. Whistle. Bounce.
If you look at the midfield numbers for a lot of those Collingwood players, they're well down on what they normally would be. But the thing that tells me is they're quite happy to play a different brand of football, a different style of football, and they can still contribute in their own way. I mean, they're a great combination, Collingwood.
As Dennis said, Tim, when you play Sydney, your numbers are down. It's just the way they play it. Beams kicking inside, and brave again. Bolton, but probably Roberts Thompson was going to take the mark. Collingwood come out with it. Brown squeezing Lee, rolling, and just got a bad bounce. He's that sort of guy, Lee Brown. I don't reckon he gets a lot of good bounces.
Nothing goes right for the anvil.
He's played his 200 though.
Yeah.
It's his 20th game for the Pies. Ex-Docker and of course Kangaroo. He's the journeyman, isn't he?
Absolutely. And had he kicked straight this year, he probably would have had another 20 goals, as he played quite a few games up forward. But for one reason or another, he just can't poke it through. It's out of bounds in the pocket. Still, he'll be pinching himself, eh? Fremantle, North Melbourne, and Collingwood very much in the mix now. He must be loving it. Jolly tapped it down. O'Keefe threads it out. Crouch kicks it towards the boundary, and it bounces out of bounds.
Good forward line pressure there from Collingwood, just stopping Sydney from being able to set anything up and be able to deliver the ball and run and overlap, and they've been able to do that all afternoon. They've really put some pressure on their defensive players.
Collingwood find themselves in a remarkable spot now. The informed side going into the finals. They'll play a Victorian team in Melbourne. Geelong might have to come down from Geelong and play Collingwood on their home turf. It's just coming up beautifully.
And they have an army of support behind them.
That's right. Tuvey thumps it towards the boundary. Thomas gets around, pulls it back towards the middle, sensing the danger. Grundy, he's been a big plus for Sydney in the second half of the season.
No, it's a good call, Dennis.
So Shaw, he hasn't got it past Cloak, I don't think. Yes, he did in the end. Shaw to Shaw, eh? And then Barlow.
I reckon, you know, the great thing about Heath Shaw is he went through that period where he was being tagged week in, week out, and there's his dad there, Ray Shaw, in the background there. But he's been able to fight his way through that. He's quite happy just to play a really defensive role as well.
So Clerk doing the roving. Now Thomas might have a fly here. Yep. It was Daisy's ball.
That's how he likes them. 1, 2, 3, jump.
He likes playing against the Swans. He had his career high at the Olympic Stadium with 4 against them. Another match he's kicked 3. Straight in front, misses. Well. I guess if you want to be really critical about Collingwood today, they haven't kicked straight.
It's been a bit of their history, hasn't it? Matner to bring it in. And I suppose starting the day, both these clubs could say nothing succeeds like succession. One of them had to win the game, but having said that, Collingwood can say it loudest today. Kick comes up towards the wing. After it goes Bolton, taken down by Fraser. Jack did well. Hanbury kicks inside the forward 50. Now Jolly could have almost got a free kick there. Runs on behind. Look at Heath Shaw. He's motoring. Goes with the outside of the boot because he spotted Lockyer. Lockyer gets a very favourable bounce. Even the Sherrin barracks for the Magpies. Around the other side, Dick picked it up beautifully. Runs beyond the wing. Sweeping kick inside the forward 50. Shaw able to punch it away. Plenty of support. Kirk goes back to Shaw. Shaw at right half back. Little chip.
He's been really good, Ray Shaw.
Thank you.
Really good.
I reckon Ray Shaw would be saying, gee, both my boys have done well today, wouldn't he?
Be a good feeling, wouldn't it?
Dane Swan, just 16 touches.
O'Dwyer around the other side. Up goes Brown, takes the mark. Johnson's away.
Here's another one.
Oh, clever mark. Just singing the praises of Shaw, but Swan did him there with body strength coming back.
And Swan's low ball cut off by O'Keefe. Davis. And then Davis hooking back to the goal square. Where's Anthony? He's in the right spot.
He's strong.
And he reads it very well. Timmy.
He's a real footballer.
Yeah.
He's such a naturally talented footballer. He pushed back. Just watch this. He pushed back on Lewis Roberts-Thompson, got him in the right position, and then just protected the ball drop.
Tim, you said earlier you've seen him kick more goals than today. Well, he's about to equal his career high, I reckon. I think he's kicked 4 on about 4 occasions. He's on 3 now.
He's been a very influential player this afternoon.
Absolutely. He's got it. He's got his 4th.
There's some real star quality in their forward line, isn't there? You look at the players that they can rotate through there. Medhurst, who still looks a little bit out of sorts at the moment. But here's the contest between Shaw and Swan. What a terrific catch that was by Swan. And then they were able to conjure up a goal here. Leon Davis swinging around. But Leon Davis Thomas, they can rotate through there. They've got Dick in the forward line also.
Didak.
And Didak as well. I mean, there's that X factor.
Well, the Magpies are putting on a clinic. Jack Anthony, 4 goals in the game 6 times in his career now. He hasn't played a lot of footy, 5 times this season. And Davis was like, what? Alexis 460 as he just weaved his way through the traffic down there. Wasn't even at top gear. Wood digs it out of the middle, kicks it towards half forward. Thomas, plenty of support, plenty of appetite out there. Swan, Thomas, couple of players forward of the ball. Didak deep in the pocket. Didak unloads, and it was always narrow. Mick still very much in it. Look at him. Remarkable coach, Michael Malthouse. He would dearly love a premiership this season.
Really interesting thing early in the season too, when there were some people criticising his game plan and the fact that they went around the outside and everybody was going through the corridor and there was this full ground press and the cluster and all that sort of stuff. He said, look, there is more than one way to do this. I know what I'm doing.
He's been doing it for a while, hasn't it, knowing what he's doing. Well, poor old Barlow, he had the ball in his hands and he hasn't been used to that a lot today. He's had to play that decoying role. Goods got the kick to him now. Beams gets it from Cloak. Maxwell has to go back and fetch it to Beams, to Cloak again. And then Cloak off one step. Good kick, Wood. So Fraser gives an early lead and then Wood decides to load up. Thomas might go again here. No, he doesn't get a crack at it. Good mark on the front. Taken by Bevan. The other thing that's happening here, Collingwood's improving its percentage by keeping Sydney so low and getting a bigger gap between it and the Bulldogs. They play them next week. So even if the Bulldogs happen to beat them, it's going to be hard for them to jump over them. So this is all very profitable for the Pies. Good kick. Nice mark taken by White.
He's on the wing. 83 to 44. Certainly a second half romp by the Magpies.
Oh.
Bolton comes up. Barry's got it. Shaw is there. Roberts Thompson is on.
It's a good kick.
Yeah, caught between them. Swan, who was protecting both. It went to Bevan.
Beautiful.
Low down O'Loughlin. And the man on the mark will be at 55. Nicky wants to go. Well, hang on. I'm not sure you can... Well, it depends where the mark was. That wasn't defined, but he took the mark just outside 50. I was busy saying the mark would be 55. I think Mickey should have got 50 metres there as the ball goes down towards half forward. But I did give you the score. Umpires 103, committee 1. Hand pass comes across towards O'Keefe. Taken by Shaw. Out it comes to Crouch, who's running. Crouch drives it inside the forward 50. Big leap down there by Brown. He controlled it well, got it in front. How about that for clean hands, Tim?
He has been flawless, that one. Absolutely flawless all afternoon, and he was like this last weekend too against the Tigers. This is some rare form.
Down goes Cloak. O'Keefe slams it on the boot. Still flawless. Davis.
And doing some work on the floor, wasn't he, as Davis goes to Fraser. Beams with him. Nice just for the footy. Now Beams leans back, brings it almost back. He had some options here. Lockyer was running forward.
Pendlebury put his hands up in the air too and said, what about me? I had Kirk done here. Here's O'Loughlin here. Now, I thought he was just going back to get back quickly to the mark. I mean, I would have thought that that was 50 metres then.
Yeah, I thought so.
We're going to give it to you, Dan. So 2 to 130.
103, Bruce, hang on.
Reece Shaw into Roberts Thompson.
You're including today, are you?
Yep.
Oh, 130, okay.
Still finding it difficult to move the ball to Sydney Swans. There hasn't been any easing up on the pressure whatsoever from Collingwood.
Hanbury. Down the line. And so often today we've seen a Collingwood defender come over the top and belt the ball away.
Yeah, they work so hard for each other, the Collingwood defenders.
So a terrific crowd here, 54,400, the biggest crowd the Swans have played in front of this season by about 10. Hanbury to Goods on the burst.
Saw his darting eyes and decided to go for it all, and why not? What a remarkable kick.
Well, that was just beautiful, wasn't it? Just watch this again. This is from the stoppage. There's Pike, the tap down, goes to Hanbury, follows up by Goods. He actually had a look. He thought to himself, is there anything on? Is there anything better to kick the ball at than having a shot at the goal? And in the end, he just decided to do it all. He's well outside 52, and the ball just travels inside by about another 5 metres. Now, I don't know whether he'd get the 3 votes today, but he'd go very close again out of Goods.
Just an update on Jared Moore. I gave you the report at half-time that he went to hospital with a punctured lung. Well, he has been stabilised. He's currently on the X-ray table as we speak, just to see how badly those ribs are broken.
With the Sydney free kick.
Thanks for that, Ricky. So Adam Goods has kicked 2 of the 3 goals that Sydney have kicked after half-time, 3 in total. Bolton, and Craig Bolton out of the back half, and then loading up. White working to the front, couldn't quite, and then Maxwell at the back. Puts Tuvey, dropped it down under pressure. That should have been holding it. Crouch read it better than Davis on that occasion and takes the mark.
Yeah, just in the contest, Leon.
He's just wondering now, Sydney are going to get beaten by 5 goals. Does Goods get a vote today?
I reckon it's almost impossible from an umpire's perspective to ignore what he just did a couple of moments ago, though.
Kick inside the 50.
They're the sorts of things, if you're giving votes at the end of the game, they must just stick in your mind.
Well, Beams is the top possession getter on the ground with 23. Goods has got 20. He's right on the pace there, and of course he's been sensational, and Beams not a proven vote getter.
If you're doing a top 4, Tim, would you have Goods in there?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So O'Loughlin back to Goods, and then Goods hooking back to full forward, and Maxwell, who reads it so well yet again.
I reckon I'd have Nick Maxwell in the top 4 too. I mean, his influence on this game has been enormous too.
Probably hard to get the 3 for Goods, but you would think the 2. Pendlebury, I think last year in one game, he's a medal magnet. Adam Goods. Last year, I think in one game he had 11 possessions and got the 3, and I think he got another 3 in a game where he was criticised by the coach. I mean, it wasn't a stellar season for him last year, and yet he was right around the place.
Dennis, could you find a spot for Heath Shaw in the top 4? I mean, he's only had 13 disposals, but he's been a brilliant defender too, and flawless, as you said before.
I heard a good judge say he was flawless. There goes the kick. O'Brien, Gunnerwood's full forward. Grundy, Anthony on his knees, Cloak. Roberts Thompson comes out the back. Collingwood have got some numbers there. Gee, Cloak copped one from O'Keefe. Both players are down. Goods again. Well, he's putting on a clinic. It's a virtuoso performance because he hasn't got much help. Didak got it from Fraser. Goods again, was pushed in the back. No free kick. Mightn't get the votes. O'Brien kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Of course, the other guy who's had a huge influence is Anthony at full forward.
Oh, that was a big hit. That was a big hit, and he was just completely unprotected then too, Clyde. Copped the full brunt of that.
Well, the Swans' reputation of being a good, tough team has been maintained today. There's a terrific mark by Brown.
He did find some confidence.
And then loads up outside 50. Anthony just slipped, and then Roberts Thompson went down and a boundary throw-in. So for Jared Crouch and Leo Berry, their last games here at the MCG. Paul Roos talked about that before the game. They won't be playing finals footy, the Swans, but their last 5 weeks have been very encouraging. Grundy, Bolton, O'Dwyer, very promising. Oh! Put the ball down, and Thomas read it best. Well done, Bolton. Back to Reece Shaw. He's done a good job. Now he's backtracking because he's got nothing to give it to. Back to Grundy. Kirk's got himself half loose here. And can Grundy find him? Not quite. Boundary throw.
That's been one of the more intriguing battles of the afternoon too. Kirk and Pendlebury. Pendlebury's ended up with 13. Kirk's had 11. They've almost cancelled each other out. They've been working hard against each other all afternoon.
4.5 minutes to go then. Tossed in. Wellingham. O'Keefe doesn't stop trying. Jolly going back. Brown off hands. Prestigiacomo. Heath Shaw. Well, he's taken off in an interesting direction. Comes back to Brown. Well, the guy chasing him did pretty well as well. Round the outer side he goes. White was doing the chasing. Shaw finds an unmarked Lockyer. Lockyer runs to 55, sends it down towards full forward. Juggled Mark Swan, open goal Swan, goal Collingwood.
Well, that was all set up from Heath Shaw at half-back again. It was a great chase by Jesse White, as you called, Dennis. But in the end, he just got the old 1-2 going, followed up, got it to Lockyer. And then that's almost become a trademark goal of Dane Swan, where he just uses his strength, his ability to push off his direct opponent, just pushed Bevan out of the way, protected the ball drop. And I reckon we've seen him kick that goal at least 12 times this year.
He runs into open goals a lot. Heath Shaw's had 19 running bounces today, Tim. Sydney in total's had 17.
Yeah, no, that's when he does his best work, Tom. He runs, he carries the ball, but he delivers the ball generally pretty well too.
Collingwood Army's up at the moment. They're loving what they're seeing.
Well, it's Robert Thompson on the full track.
So Roberts Thompson has had a tough day against Anthony Davis. Back to Medhurst. That stretched the hammies a bit. Crouch paddling forward. Well done. Jolly legged almost. Back to Crouch. Couldn't quite. Bolton trying to get through. He's the king of the clearances. He couldn't quite. Well done, Wellingham. Terrific disputed ball. Collingwood out Sydney on that occasion. And Wood building it forward. And Roberts Thompson. It's been an intriguing duel. Anthony's been so good. Oh, Goods. That's not so good. Roberts Thompson pushed down. Lockyer. Still with Lockyer. Getting around Goods. And then kicking well. The post. That's what he's kicking. Funny thing with Lockyer, he's kicked one goal against Sydney in 15 games only. Can you believe it? I mean,
that's amazing.
He's such a good goal kicker.
So satisfying for this man, of course, this afternoon. Can you imagine Mick tweeting? I was reading in this morning's paper that Jade Rawlings, the interim coach for Richmond, has been tweeting members during games. Technology is remarkable. We've discussed it a few times. The NFL in America banning in-game tweeting. Hard to keep up. Actually, a mate of mine told me the other day he's an expert on YouTube. He said his daughter loves their lead singer Bono. Here's Davis, left half back, close to the boundary line. It trickles out. Anthony couldn't keep it in. So we're down to 2 minutes and the margin is 41 points.
You're fascinated by technology. Do you actually ever try it, Dennis?
I haven't tried the tweeting, Bruce.
Hey, won't that be different in a couple of years' time when Mickey's in his last year and John Longmire's in his second or first year?
Will Bucks be in the picture then?
Well, I don't know.
He could be. Just lurking. He's a lurker, Bucks.
Perhaps Mickey will be tweeting by then.
Could be. Me too. Here's Maxwell across half back. What a beautiful kick coming out. Wellingham's away. He'll run it to 50. Clever by Anthony. He's cleared out. Wellingham goes long down towards full forward. Goods. Well, sort of impacted the pack. It's got to be a mark in front. Roberts Thompson.
Wellingham missed Dick then. He'd actually broken from his direct opponent. It was a good lead. He'd pushed hard to him.
And here's Swan, who's had a quiet day, really building now, late in the game.
He's up to 20 now.
I'm not a bookmaker, but I reckon Collingwood will nearly be favourite tomorrow morning for the flag.
You'd know.
They certainly will go past Geelong. There's no question about that. I reckon they'll be just about flag favourite. Beams back to Swan. Back to Lockyer. And Roberts Thompson has taken a lot of marks in this last quarter.
I think we touched on it before, Bruce. Their position is as good as first, isn't it?
Yep. They're beautifully placed with a full list. 12 out of 13 they've won. They haven't done that for 32 years in a season. It's just falling into place. Here's Shaw. But it is a marathon, as Tim said earlier. It's a long AFL season and some twists and turns to come. They were 3-5 at one stage when they went to Perth to play West Coast. 3-5 and, well, all sorts of blogging was going on then.
That's right. And Bucks was hot. Now he's room temperature.
He's not even the best captain Harry's played under.
He's having a bad week. Lockie's got the footy. And now 50. Don't know what that was for.
Interchange
infringement. Wow.
Thank you. Interchange.
Well, Ruzi's down there. He's right in the middle of that.
That was an interchange break.
They started all this, didn't they, Sydney?
That's right. They've got themselves to blame. So Lockyer will kick the goal, and this is going to be a massive win in the finish. A percentage booster.
Interchange infringement. Ricky Olrenshaw's down there on the boundary line. He'll be all over that. There's Ruzi just leaning across to the steward, just trying to get some clarification. Rick's right there. He knows exactly what took place.
Tell us, Rick.
I'm not actually sure what took place, but that interchange showed the Swans under real pressure to keep his spot, because we saw this happen 2 weeks ago when Ed Barlow ran on for no reason. He's done it again, but I don't think Ruzi really agrees with this one, because he's given the AFL interchange short a real spray.
Well, I think you can see the funny side, Ruzi, don't you?
No.
It's half a smile, Tim. Almost doubled their score. Well, we've been singing their praises for so long we're exhausted. That's how good they've been. Bolton out of the centre, banging forward. Bevan, not quite. Well, Barlow, I think Bevan had it first. And the tease has got the footing.
You're right.
Certainly didn't have any hands on it. It's a mark.
Special comments there from the Taylor Thomas. That was atrocious, he said. What's this? Yeah.
Oh, dear.
He had second bite anyway.
So Ed Barlow, who's been the decoy for most of the day, can he kick the last goal of the match? I reckon he has. So Sydney get the last goal, but Collingwood get the big win. Impressive. So in the end, Collingwood 13-19, make it 12 out of 13 over Sydney 8-8.